where we felicited a couple of the UPSC toppers there, and then she drives a school of public policy. A quotient of creativity is also largely required for these public servants, largely required, because nature of the problem is extremely complex. Earlier, these were not the issues. Earlier police government had never to play against PUBG. Now they have to fight against PUBG also. The governor of age 60 will take 2 days to understand what this PUBG is. And if they're inside the mobile, why we have a trouble of that inside a mobile? It's not running on a road somewhere, fine. And then there was a game, some Pokemon something came in, and the blue whale comes in. There was a game, blue whale came in, and that was something very horribly happening with the society altogether. Now these things are not just a technology, not just a policy, it's much more than that. And you really need a creative solutions. Sometimes we take Japanese ahead. Why? Because they have extremely creative solutions to things. And that makes a job very easy, right? That makes a job very. So now I would like to have Dr. Shalini to say us about the insight. How do you look at this creativity quotient we can bring in here, or to the our own student, that they will be more easy to go ahead with the creative problems?
Okay, thank you so much, and honorable esteemed panelists and the students. There are certain thought processes which I have of my own, and a thought process which I have gone through over a period of time. Now I'm turning 50, so a long time we have been into the process. So I believe, the school system, we need to change right from the beginning to come to the system we are here today. We need a change in the assessment thought process right from the grassroots level. So just a small example, a class 5th student has to mug up an answer and then write. If she's not mugging up, then she's not getting 10 out of 10 because she is not mugged up what the teacher has said. Now comes in the problem of plagiarism when the students are at this age. They are used to that process, right? And so, there's a thought process which has to change, and thank God that the education policy is changing that. So we are having that coming from the grassroots now. Secondly, when I used to study and when you all are studying, there's a huge difference. We used to have conceptual questions. What is demand? What is the law of demand? I'm so sorry, I'm from economics basically. And the moment I don't write ceteris paribus, my marks go. Right? So, but there's a change now. I'm not asking my students the law of demand. I have also gone through a change. Students have changed us as well. So we are no more the rigid teachers with a stick. We are coaches. We learn from the students, and they learn from us. Now, it's a two-way process going on in my class. So we have discussion, as sir said, creativity. We have discussions. Okay, if this is the problem in a village, how do you think we should be able to solve it? If this is the problem coming in public administration, so students these days have so much thought process. That is what we need to acknowledge. And that is how assessment has to be done as well. So no more straight questions are there. Of course, then as you said, there are all types of categories of questions. Questions for the fast learners, for others. And another thing in my life I have seen, a student who's scoring average doesn't mean he's not doing good in life. I've seen those really doing very well in life. Yes, better sometimes. So, the assessment, the everything, we are no more teachers, we are coaches. We just have to coach them towards the right direction. Be with them in their thinking process. Help them to achieve higher. And that is how we need to do the assessment. And sir very rightly said, best luck, better luck next time. Yes. There are no failures. Nobody is a failure. Everybody has a different thought process. We need to acknowledge that. We need to give them the assessment for that. And we don't know who will be the Prime Minister next. So, that is my thought process. And yes, for economics and public policy, you need to think out of the box. Everything with the IT revolution and during the Corona time period, and I've seen my students having such startups. I couldn't even think about. So I go back that assessments, and ultimately we are coaches, and that is how we need to do. But again, there has to be a system followed. There has to be a universal system. And in India, we do have certain systems which we are trying to break away from. And slowly and gradually, hopefully in the coming 4, 5, 6 years, everybody will have a transition. And we are in the process of transition. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all of it. We almost have covered 1 hour, right? Being a control of examination, I always keep a watch on a watch. How much time are you consuming for doing anything? So I automatically start saying me, it's time. Now submit the papers. So we almost have covered 1 hour, and I'm very sure we had a very nice, thoughtful activities in there. Pretty good things in mind still we have, and which we would still like to know on top of it. But allow me to have maybe a last insight which I would look from you. For a student, how do we take it forward? So we obviously, I could see good things wrote on at least piece of paper, you have written good things. We collect those back. We will, as I said, we will again revert back to these experts. What we have spoke today, we'll revert back, we'll mature those thoughts shared. These are thoughts. We try bringing it to the concept level and to the actionable items, and that goes in curriculum. That's how we do it, we interact. We'll keep going that ahead with it. I just want to have one thing last to be asked to all the judges, the panelists. What is that one word comes to you when we asked creativity? That one word comes to you. To all of you, yeah. What is that one word? Exposure. Okay. To what is that one word? Passion. And then what is that one word, sir?
Curiosity.
Great.
Can I articulate any form of example?
Yeah. Because normal lawyers are with a lot of these things.
Okay, I'll just, this small assignment to all of you. Just have a look of the clock. Just have a look of the watch. What do you find special about this watch? Of course, time is over. That is special. In addition to that, what is so special about that? Different religions. Okay, just have a look back. What is that? No, it's not a constitution. It's a national emblem, right? Okay, how will you correlate these two? How will you correlate? You have to think in a creative manner. This is coffee table, but we are not sipping coffee only. We are discussing. Coffee table conclave, but we are discussing. So don't go by the set parameters. How will you correlate? Any connection can you find? Liberal arts, a great responsibility on you to think that way. Yes, please. Okay. How that has connection with that? Okay, 4 faces. Angry face or the smiling face? Huh? That also has changed. Now it is angry face. We are no more, silent spectator. We will react if you attack on us. Yes? In legit manner. Anybody else? Any connection? Liberal arts, great responsibility is there on your shoulder to, see things very differently. Law, I belong to that fraternity, which also thinks in a different manner. I, as a teacher of law, I have to think different manner. Yes?
You can think about it. Whatever he is thinking might not be similar.
Might not be similar, yeah, of course.
Because what she said
Yes.
unity in diversity, yes, that's very much true. But if you want to relate it, Sabrat Ashoka or something, that also a correlation you can talk about if you feel so. So what do you think? How they are connected? That answer you need to figure it out. Do you feel it is connected or not? That is also a question.
That is also a question.
Yeah. Do you feel is it connected? He feels that it's.
That's how curiosity stands for.
Yes.
Or the creativity. Creativity come curiosity. Yes?
Yes.
It's a sign of Union of India, right? It's a sign for Union of India. Yes, exactly. That's what I was looking at. The point of view. It portrays, the connection is secularism, right? Again, if I say secularism, if I see it from curiosity point of view, or being a creativity point of view, secularism stands for that the same national emblem is letting all people to follow their respective religion. You follow. We are allowing you. We are not banning that. At the same time, second angle of looking at it, we will not interfere in that. We will not interfere in your religion, but we are allowing you to follow your religion. That's how the connection is, and that's how the second side of, flipping side of the word secularism is all about. So that's, connection is secularism, and 2 point of view. One, you follow your religion in your house, in your pocket, not in public domain. However, at the same time, we will not interfere in your religion, right? So that's how curiosity, creativity stands for. That's how curious mind, human mind stands for. And liberal arts and law, they are known for curiosity and creativity. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I give example.
No, that's fine, that's fine. No, whenever I have got good number of lawyers in my family. So whenever we have any discussion going with lawyer, we found that we have lost our own perspective when the lawyers are being saying, and they make sure you got it what I was saying, and they lost what we were saying first. No, that's a very thoughtful insight to bring in here. Great. So you must have seen that advertisement of the Parle Ji, which says, "Bachpan se bada koi school nahi, curiosity se badi koi teacher nahi." It's such a relevant advertise altogether. We are almost done with time. Unfortunately, we have rare occasions like this where we don't come to know about time is the end. Otherwise, we have a lot of occasions where we keep looking at that when the time is being over. So we fortunately are fortunate to witness some kind of events as such. Any questions from any one of you have? Anything which you would like or wants to ask or express? Oh, maybe. Just a minute.
My question is for Shama ma'am. So you mentioned being in proximity with contemporary artists in terms of your art, and the people who were in, let's say, Kathak, since it's your field. So the newer artists of Kathak, they have their own way of presenting a story, which may not necessarily be similar to how you learned it during your time. And most of the times we observe that people who come from an older age of learning such things, they don't really approve of what's happening right now, but they do end up practicing the same thing just to please the audience, which is there right now. So what is your view on that? Do you think they should be following what they originally learned and what they believe in, or they should be going as per what the audience wants? Because ultimately the audience is who gives the performers the money, right?
Yeah, good question, I'll say. Maybe a very straight questions, I will say.
Good question, and I often get this question because I'm a very traditional person in my mindset. But traditional person doesn't make me an outdated person. I do relate. I live in a contemporary world. I do not live in 200 years ago. I'm a person of today. So what I truly believe is you master your traditional technique. You try and get all the knowledge, whatever is there, and then that kind of is your springboard to take a flight from, or make a departure from. And then the tradition itself, or that knowledge you have gained all over the years, gives you a strong foothold, and you improve. It's a very slow process. When you start, you are more bound to the traditional techniques, to the traditional aesthetical norms. But as you grow, without cutting your roots, you still can see the world. That's why I said exposure. Once you see I worked with contemporary musicians a lot, and the common factors were improvisation, common factors were working with the rhythms, and I could connect with them, connect with that music. Again, I'm saying it was a slow process because it is not that you can do it in a moment because we have to follow our classicism. That I will never get rid of that in my mind. I'm bound to that. So adhering to the classicism, I try to take first small departures and then one can relate it. I suppose, like when I was a kid, it was a big thing to go to the US and learn. Now, when I'm 70 plus, I think it's a big thing to go to the moon and not to the US. So it's the same thing. I try to, but I'm the same person. And even if I go to the moon, I'm a classical dancer, so I would look for possibilities through my own dance form. And mostly you find something or the other. Sometimes you find a little, sometimes you can, it depends. That I cannot say that everybody and every time you will find it. But there are definitely possibilities.
One thing as a scientist, I think dancing on moon will be much more fun, 1/5 gravity.
Yes, so students, this question not only related to performing arts, when we talk about anything in the world is going to be changed. Change is the only constant in the world. So it's nature's law to change, so we are abide by that. We are going to change, but it doesn't mean that whatever is coming, we need to accept it. As ma'am rightly said, when we talk about rose petals, they are different from each other, but there is some uniformity. I'll take an example now from sir. I'm so inspired, I'm giving you one example. When we talk about English language, because that's common language now we are using for instruction. If you see our forefathers' language, grandfathers' language, is it same like you speak now today? No, it's different. Okay, we'll go back. We'll talk about Shakespeare's language, 15th, 16th century. Was it same? Can you read a book of him? No, not possible. We go for edited books. Okay, we'll go back little farther. You talk about Chaucer's language in 12th, 14th century. Have you read about Chaucer? You must have heard about him. He's a father of English language and poetry. So his language, you'll barely believe that it's English language. And now, we'll go back, whatever we know about English language, King Alfred's 8th or 9th century, Cynewulf, Beowulf. His language, you'll say that this is not English language at all. So you see, English language is same. As Shamadai rightly said, roots are going to be the same. Only we'll keep adding something to it. Basic ingredients are going to remain the same. They are not going to be changed. So, change is forever, change is inevitable. Only thing is that we cannot detach ourselves from the roots. For example, if you are preparing a sabzi of bangan, without bangan, it cannot be prepared. So bangan is the basic ingredient. In the same way, each and every domain of knowledge, basics are going to be there. Once you understand the basic, then you will be able to create something. Okay? So we need to understand basics are required. We need to understand our roots. And with the roots, we can make indefinite changes in that. Indefinite patterns can be made. And creativity is always there. So whatever we like in the present era, we are going to present it in the same way. In future, we might be presenting it in different way, but art form is going to remain the same. And that's why we are talking about creativity. And exactly, this is the right question. This relates to creativity. Making infinite patterns from the roots. And that exactly we want from you all. So don't stick to any pattern, any format. Know your roots and try to create something very different. I think I have answered, and we have answered your question, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anything? Oh.
So my question is in relation to the first question that was asked. Are art is born or can they be made? So usually when somebody says that, oh, this person is an artist or this person is not so when they say this person is an artist, what is this whole theoretical idea of what an artist is? Because usually whenever we say someone is an artist, we're like, oh, their work is amazing or this and that. So at what point do we stop at them being an artist? Because somebody can be a great runner and they're an artist on the field. or somebody can be a great producer or director, and they're like, oh, their work is beautiful or art. Or somebody could, like in law, their arguments in the court can be equal to poetry. So at what point do we draw the line at, oh, this person is an artist?
Yeah, very nice question. So we, obviously this is lot of role the artists are seen, not necessarily only on stage, also on a court. So very nice question, and thank you for that question. And I could see a very spontaneous response coming from Lele madam.
See, if you see the journey of humanity also, as we are evolving education system, we started singularity. Then there was lot of multiplicity. And now we are going towards unity. So E. coli, every E. coli cell is same. But they have very limited identity. I saw somebody, your student only, she is BSc Micro and now a Kathak dancer. So it's like engineering drawing. You take this particular building and the top view from helicopter, how it looks from inside, left side, right side, section, it's different. Like these are all man-made things. In nature, there is everything everywhere. There's no difference like arts and science and all. So I would call thermodynamically, if you're creating harmony, so let it be a music, let it be dance, let it be a creation. If there is harmony, you are a great artist. And so in that sense, every
Everyone has their own way of cooking it. So it is also an art. So whenever you're talking, whenever you are performing something, whenever you're writing paper, all these are covered under an art form. So we all are artists. How we are performing, we need to decide that. As sir said in the beginning, good and bad. We need to see which side and how we are going to develop that. Okay? So each and everyone is an artist, I feel.
Yeah, great. We also have the guest online. There was some connectivity issue earlier, which we could now see. Dr. Divya Srivastava is the guest online. Can we have madam on screen? You have been witnessing the discussions happening in around. I would be happy to have two insights would like to hear from you, since normally we get rare chances to ask questions to deans. So I'll take this opportunity to have this insight thing. So are the artists made or born? In line with the same question continuing on the first question we opened this session with. Are they made or they born? That's the first insight. And when it comes to measure the creativity, what you would like to put your thoughts on? So first is whether artists are born or made. And when it comes to measure the creativity, how you look forward to go up. So over to you, Dr. Divya.
share my thoughts to everyone. First of all, greetings to all of you and wonderful conversation. Great people are communicating with us through things. In continuation with that dialogue, I will give it a very brief answer for that. See, creativity is the human manifestation, right, of or innovative idea or creative idea, and everybody more or less. First of all, we think, we thought, and we believe that the God is the artist who created the world and who created the human being with the innovative idea and thoughts. Artists are born or made. Everybody, as I'm saying, everybody is an artist, more or less. It depends on the interest of the person. If the person wants to pursue the performing art as a career, the person is polishing his or her skill. It is in this is inbuilt thing or in every human being, more or less. You can be a creative person in writing, in poetry, in dance, in music, in painting, in crafting, in cooking, in decorating the house, or in welcoming, even in communicating. The way of communication could be very good, and you can convince the people easily. It's an art. So in Indian, according to Indian systems, or even the methodology, we have 64 kind of arts, and even you will be surprised with chori. I mean, the stealing the things is also an art. So everybody is an artist, you know. So it's not the maze. It is by choice. I mean, it's a everybody is born artist. It depends on how much you're polishing your skill to the particular for the particular field, and that practice makes you a perfect person in that particular field, and that's why the people are saying that okay, she's a good dancer, or she's a good singer, or a great producer or artist. This is my answer.
Yeah.
I hope you will like.
Yeah. Thank you. Obviously, this is a very creative submission when we also says that chori is also an art, right? Because he's actually doing the bestest thing and possibility of performing that activity which is assigned or intended to do.
Chori is not means that it is a
Yeah,
means you are
correct.
copying the
Copying it.
English
Yes, yes.
communication type.
Correct,
So
correct.
the teacher does not know
Yeah.
what is
Correct. Very nice, very nice. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. Just I got to know you are associated with Ethiopian University. So I'm just curious to know about how creativity is measured in foreign countries. Is it different than in Indian universities? Is there any difference? If you let us know, that would be really beneficial for us, I think.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm associating not only with the African University in the USA, and still I'm working with some Australian universities also. Difference between the Indian and foreign universities are, you can even say that, see, to a certain extent, Indian universities are very good because, you know, basically our education system was very strong. It was a time during the early 18 times when the Britishers were there and they saw that the education system is very strong here in India. They thought that we cannot rule over this country. We have to break down the education system. We have to break down their belief system that what you are learning, what you are doing is totally wrong. What we are here to teach you to learn that, and then you will be then you can call yourself education. So the strongest education system totally they broke, and that is why we are now in that because of that we are lagging behind. Though we are independent, we are working hard to establish a university and, you know, reaching out to the people from village to village, even and establishing a good well educational institute just to give the good kind of education. But what we are doing here is not looking to our education system, our patterns of thinking patterns or educational learning patterns, we are looking to the world that what they are doing, we should also follow that blindly without thinking that whether it is applicable to the Indian student or not. So when we are talking about the performing art, this is the same thing I experienced here. When I was in London, the Gymnasium University approached me to come and lead the department as dean. When I came here, I saw that everybody, they said start the department, the Western music people can. And I was surprised. I asked them, why not Indian? Because people don't answer was fundamental. People don't like Indian music much. Nowadays, the people or the students like the Western music more. Okay, agree. That is how they catch the the nerves of the young generation. That now the people, the students like more the Western music rather than the Indian music. So we decided to start that. But from where to start? Because nobody is expert here in Western music. So I'm an expert. Art-wise, presentation-wise, many artists were there, are there. But the educational qualification, nobody is here in India to teach as a professor in the university. So when you are talking about the difference between the Indian and foreign university, first of all, if you talk about the performing art, very much flexible. The foreign universities are very much flexible, and they are very friendly. The professors are very friendly with the students. They are not dominating them. They are not rude with them. They are ready to help them. What I have observed. Also, the management are helping the performing art department in a very well mannered, like in the board of studies members are well educated professors from wherever they want, they are gathering the stars, or you can say the best artists and professors. The combination of the artists, performers, and the educationists, music educators. They are making this kind of department so that the student can get both the practical as well as the physical aspects of the performance. Whereas in the Indian university, what I observed that it's still a kind of the dominance is very much from there. The professor, you should listen to me, otherwise this is not going to go.
Yes.
I'm not saying that everybody is like that. No, I'm not saying that. But most of the time, even if you want to become a flexible person, surrounding people, the music educators, so-called music educators, will not allow to become a flexible person. This is the problem here in India. And this we should agree, we should accept it openly, because this is the high time to change the perspective about the music education or performing arts education. If we want to become a great in the particular field, we should change this kind of pattern of giving the education to the students. Another thing, the aspect and examination and the post education, how much you are assisting the student to get to making their career. That is totally absent here in India. That is totally. And that's why I have started this performing arts consultancy, so that the student can come from any university, they can take the guidance from me that after completing this kind of certain course of music, dance, where should I go? Where should I apply for even getting the experience? Because you cannot get the job without experience. Then how to get the experience? And this is totally absent in India. Whereas foreign universities are focusing on that. They're creating a special stage for that. Where they're posting the department, the internal vacancies, giving the sponsorship, giving the scholarship for that. It is not there.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah, true, very true. Obviously, this is something we also had a system called as Gurukul earlier. When we said we have to be not monitoring as such, we have to be along with the learner from day one to day end. That was what Gurukul was largely saying onto it. Yeah, that is very true. So thank you for that insight, Dr. Divya. So with this, allow me to move towards the concluding remarks. We had a good amount of discussion happening in here. Back to a place from where I started. So I hope you all have enjoyed for a little 1+ hours in here. Good things we actually spoke over a period of year, and there's a lot of takeaways, lot of responsibilities and lot of agreements we should have in. Faculty to move towards a facilitator, student to move towards a learner. Lot of agreements we mutually going to have. Liberal Arts going to be a very creative young school of the university, and we also take these owners to drive it more creatively down the line in terms of facilitating from the faculty side, in terms of creating a values from the student side. We spoke something about peripheral things also has to come into an assessment. It's not only those static instances. Even if you have a continuous, we have a time to go beyond continuous assessments also. We also shall be looking after what that impact is created out of the work of a student. For example, we feel something good at, and across the thing, the impact created sounds very nice. We also have to take that impact creation of that. We spoke and also mutually agreed about various forms of assessments can be deployed. We already have figured out more than 100, and we see what best it can be deployed. Attitude as one of the very important component as a part of assessment. We'll see what best can be done to bring in this component to the assessments. There can be many open-ended ways to respond to a question. Since we are in a liberal arts, we are not in a linear arts. We also should create a space into the assessment system itself that more than one forms also can be received as the right answers to it, right? So that's one thing. One good thing we spoke about, why can't we have a teacher and student together appearing for an assessment all together? Faculty also have part of, it's not about knowing what right, what wrong. It's not about knowing what you don't know. It's about knowing what togetherly we can create as output to something. So maybe faculty can remain to be part of this journey also together and making, so that faculty also sits on a co-driver seat when the student is giving a driving test. So it's a confidence also that how we have taught the driving. Otherwise, faculty will not sit at the co-passenger seat. So that thing also in there. Lifelong learner, we all have to gather those motivation throughout the learning. Everyone has a limitation, but obviously when we comes and individually engage with something, we also have to create that elements which Shama Bhatte madam also is saying, to become a lifelong learner. Let it be technology or any medium, but become a lifelong learner together. We'll shift to rubrics instead of those grade. We'll also try posing ourselves into a rubrics way down the line. Lot of colors, Dr. Divya madam was saying 64 more ways of performing arts and everything. We'll see what bring flexibility, curiosity, all of it being in. We'll also try to have a very formal way of making things possible. Otherwise, words will remain words. We, along with Dr. Preeti, will convert into very actionable items. So I think this is quite an enriching to me also, and obviously to all of us, with something which we are talking about starting a mutual journey. Otherwise, when we learned, I have never seen who was the control of examination. We never had an access to, neither we never wanted to see him also, or her also. I will also honestly accept that we never wanted to see him or her, whoever was it. But then that was the age when we were talking about English language also. That was the age when people were never accessible this thing. Students were never had a say into the assessment process. They were just after this line, not into this line. Entry without permission, no entry without permission. So, yeah, so you must go and see, this man must have done a good job, right? Control of examination normally do a lot of jobs, but then people don't come and see them. So we actually also have traveled a distance. Let's further enrich this journey through your learning process and then this thing. Any day we meet on a convocation sometime later in your career paths, we'll also recall this moment, and we'll see what difference we are being. So I once again thanks to all of our panelists for being here and having a very thoughtful insights. Also to Dr. Divya present with us online. I am also thankful to team, those who have organized and everything. We could not have Dr. Anuradha Parashar Madam Dean here. She, since not feeling well, could not attend, but obviously her support was therein. Now, since it's informal, you all are part of our WPU family. You all might be knowing Shama Bhate Madam is also part of our Board of Studies for Liberal Arts, and she already has a very thoughtful insight given to us when we created a curriculum and all together. So she is already part of it, and Dr. Smita Lede, Dr. Ashok sir also become part of it. So going forward, I request Dr. Preeti Doshi to please felicitate Shama Bhate Madam with a small token of appreciation what we have.
So one thing I just want to add it, we should thank our controller of examination, Tokale sir and his team, because in assessment, no one allows us to enter in their domain. He is the one who allowed us to come and discuss about it, and he is ready to change. So I big round of applause.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
He and his team has been biggest support to us, because for liberal arts we are floating more than 200 courses, and taking care and catering those 200 courses for the examination, backlog examination, re-examination, that's a humongous task. But team and Pokale sir, they are really doing wonderful job supporting us every now and then. So thank you so much to examination department.
Thank you, thank you. No, no, please, it's honor goes with you. May I please request you?
On behalf of Dr. Anuradha Parashar ma'am, who is the Dean of Liberal Arts, she initiated this because they both of them had farming session, not brainstorming session, brain farming session, and this is the outcome of this. So on behalf of her, I'll be felicitating ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, maybe we can come forward.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. May I request Professor Shashikala Patil, madam, who is Deputy Controller of Examination, to felicitate Dr. Smita Lele, madam.
Students, now felicitations are going on, and the brain behind this ceremony, Dr. Pokale sir, I do request him to felicitate Dr. Ashok sir. As I said, our induction program, we are very greedy for applause, so you can continue for that. Thank you. Let's welcome our Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.M. Chitnis, sir. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion. Thank you so much.
Fine. So, thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Chitnis sir, for being here. I'm glad because you all have seen we have been lot of new entrants coming to the campus, and then lot of activities are happening and going. So we are actually been trying to be getting us time from the Vice Chancellor office for this thing. Thank you, sir, for being here and gracing the occasion. This means a lot to the students also and to the team having you in here. Basically, when we talk about assessments and everything, you always need a support from the academic head of the organization or the university of the organization. When you try to bringing these changes, new age changes, this flexibility, this scalability, you need those not only consents, but the supporting words to go forward with. When we had the first conclave done, when the was first seed thought, we actually received a very good support from Chetney sir to move forward and get the things done. That motivated us to come forward and have the second this thing and going forward. I will also like to know the other panelist member in here. When we are here at the university and talking about 200 courses at the liberal arts, we cover more than almost 8,000 courses all across university. So that much amount of diversity we already have under the leadership of Dr. Chitnis sir. Sir comes from a very strong background of management and have been guiding and supporting to all of us through this journey. So sir, thank you very much being here with us again. Sir, I would like to have you saying few words to the students that when we talk about creativity, we talk about when we have meetings with Chitnis sir, we normally become students when we have a meetings with Chitnis sir, and sir gave us a lot of good examples the way we had it here few hours back, and then makes us learn how can we go ahead with it. Maybe I can request sir to have 2 words for this creative thinking or maybe the critical thinking when you normally came across your troubles and problems. Sir, can I request you to have 2 words, please?
Honorable panel, dear Dr. Pokle, and dear students, faculty members. Very creatively said 2 words. First of all, I'm sorry I'm late, and we have 152 degrees on this campus. So August is the month of induction, and I have to jump from one to another. So I have just finished 3 inductions, and then I'm here. And I think I was present in your induction also, initially. Yeah. So I want to first of all congratulate Professor Pokle sir, because we were under affiliation of University of Pune till 2017. So University of Pune used to send the syllabus. They used to conduct the exam. We used to teach. And they used to give the degree. Mark sheet would come from there. 2017 we were elevated by Maharashtra government as separate entity, MIT World Peace University. And then we came to know, oh, we have to set our own examination department because now our degree will. We will have to do convocation. Pune University used to do convocation, and then I remember Pokle sir joined us, and then he literally changed the entire outlook of our examination department in last 1 year, 1.5 year? 1 year. He mentioned about my colleagues coming to my room and then I'm talking to them. It was the day when first convocation of this university was to be done. And Pokle sir came to my room and I asked him, when did you join? And if I'm not wrong, it was 27th day.
Yes.
He had not even completed 1 month in this organization, and a large, very large convocation of few thousand students to be done in Loni Dome was the challenge. And he had his father also unwell. One day ahead of convocation, he had to leave Pune city because his father was not well being operated. And a lot of pressure on him and his entire department. So actually, we use left brain all the time, and creativity is allotted to the right part of the brain. And whenever we are in problem, we can also talk to ourselves, which is our body organ called right brain. And Jack Welch, I told you other day, the best CEO this world has seen, said that the success is equivalent to integration of 3 body organs, head, hand and heart. If you integrate them, the solutions come. Otherwise, hand is somewhere, heart is somewhere, head is somewhere else. And lot of chaos inside our mind, in our home, in our office, we create. We all pray that you will be at the best seat, top seat at the early age in 30s, and be there for next 4 decades up to 70. And you will be there without any controversies. I became head at very early age. And I'm there for many decades without any controversy as such. And in that, creativity helps. But if you look at the creativity usage, it has done many wonders to this world. Coming back to that story of Pokre sir, I'm a trained trainer, so I know how to, take the screenplay ahead with what we call as a flashback. Don't say the story one after another. You might know a movie called Sholay. Story in story, story in story unfolds. Unlike today's movies, start to end, story is going on. So I told Professor Pokre that find out the cracks. We are creating a building called Convocation, the first convocation base of this university on which the next convocations will be built. We have to construct this design. Suppose it's a building, but it's a convocation, and right now replace it by this hall. So where the cracks will come, where are the where is the risk factor, where all will go wrong, because of which today we have butterflies and stress on us. Write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there are 27 different activities to be done in convocation. These are the 5 activities where risk is high. And then Gantt chart, per CPM, one activity is dependent on another activity. Unless we do that activity, we will not come back to the next level. So find out there. Then find out how much is the manpower. And then let's assume we are looking at 100% success, calculate it to 100%. Then even if we are half successful, 100% success, management happy, I am also happy as your boss, and everything will be all well. And 2 days ahead, he told me he cannot join because he is out. And they said, don't you worry, father is important, convocations will happen. You can imagine, if he has stress, then I have many other departments, many 1,000 professors work here, 2,000 employees. But you will never see me under stress. Because that's self-created activity. We create. Imagine Joe Biden's tension. One day he is entering Pelosi into, place called Taiwan. Same time he is finishing Zawahiri, the next head of Al-Qaeda. And he has to take that decision. And he's an old man. He doesn't have an energy now to walk fast. But then it is the system which is created. And while creating that system, and if you read the newspaper, one after another activities they were doing. They were we called as building blocks. And while building these blocks, are we creative? And suddenly you'll jump up with something else. You might say, ज्ञान बहुत हो गया, आपको last minute बुलाया यहाँ पे और बोलने को आप not prepared, तो कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं वहाँ पे. So example. Millennial generation always wants example. I'll give you one example. This world is right now based on a lot of age called competitiveness. No mobile will be brought in which is, inferior to earlier mobile. Everywhere there is a competition. You pay and you will get a good service in hotel. You pay, you get good mobile. You pay, you get good service in the theater where you go, E-Square or something, or TV subscription which you pay. Everywhere the level of services is going up and prices are very competitive. I directly wanted to jump into a word called supply chain logistics management. The entire world is hovering around supply chain logistics management. How creative you are into it. Because moment you want to manufacture car or motorcycle, you just dial few numbers and the best of the best technology you can buy. You don't have money, don't you bother, I will give you 400 crore rupees, banks are ready. You want land in Kivale, Lavale or Hinjewadi, it's available. So, where is the challenge? Challenge is not in getting capital, challenge is not getting manpower. Umpteen number of applications MIT gets. Today, every day in the post-noon, I have to go online and take interviews. 1,200 faculties applied for one position. So manpower is amply available. Land is also available. So where is the challenge? That jigsaw puzzle, when you create it, you have to see that the material moves fastest way into production system, then to market and get converted into cash and come back to you in your account for the next production, whether it's a service or production. Don't catch me in word big basket क्या करता है, यहाँ से लेके वहाँ बेचता है, Tata Click क्या करता है. That we called as a production cycle or a service cycle. जितना आप fast भगाओगे वो cycle, उतनी आपकी कंपनी आगे. क्योंकि आपने रिसर्च करना नहीं है, वो बाहर से मिल रहा है. कल जाके आप कार बना रहे हैं, मर्सिडीज एस क्लास, कोई कॉम्पीट कर रहा है पोर्शे. You want to make it better in terms of your steering wheel and some attached, the what we called as monitors. Laptop type of monitors are there in these cars. You don't bother, you give the work outside, it will be done. But once you start the company, it will sustain only with certain speed if you run it. That means the entire production cycle, which is called as supply chain logistics management. And there are degrees also in supply in US. BSc supply chain, MSc supply chain management. Even if you do short course, you are placed. Do you know there is a concept of zero inventory or JIT, Z-I-T. Google it. Which is the backbone of this, which was created by Japanese. Just-in-time technology. Means if you want to create one more floor on this building, then when you will buy cement? Not today, only that time when it is required. Otherwise your capital is locked. Monday, this Sunday, you are going to have an omelette for 3 or 4 of you staying in your family. Will we buy 200 eggs today? As simple as that. How many you will buy? 6. Because only 4 are required, maybe 1 dozen. So whatever we do in your fridge, because you have a limited fridge, money is ample, but you put 200 kg potato and tomatoes 500 kg in that? No, only 250 gram you take. And you manage. That inventory management is the buzzword in today's, which is also again a supply chain, which is again a just-in-time technology, which is also known as zero inventory, minimum inventory, all that. The story is like this, that the small cars were competing against big car called Ford cars. Ford cars were in US and small cars were in Japan, which was called as Suzuki. And then 3-4 boys and girls were there, and they are not able to sell the cars. Who will buy small cars against the big car? Car means something big that time, Ford car. Now, their job is going to go, and they were talking to higher management on a phone call then. And then boss said, give me solution. I have employed you for the solutions. You sell the car, or you come back, I will send next team. So, what are the problems? Ford car is giving 2 cars free of cost display to the vendor. Second, they are giving 8 weeks credit to the seller. Means you can take from customer, keep it in your bank for 8 weeks, earn interest on that and then pay. And third is certain discount if someone pays in advance something. So they talk to boss, all is, we are fighting too much, but these 3 things, 2 cars free of cost display, then credit period and all that. Boss said, don't tell me that, I know that. You are not there for this to tell me from there. What is the solution on this, you try to tell. Because if I give all this, my car price will go up and then Right now, no one is buying. If I increase the car price, because the finance burden will come, no one will buy it. Then how to reduce? Then they sat on balance sheet. And to reduce the burden on the company in terms of finance, they were looking at the balance sheet. First is land, second is building, third is machines, fourth is cash, fifth is bank, sixth is inventory, that is work in process, the material, and seventh is creditors, debtors. That means to whom you have sold on credit basis. So where can I reduce the burden of this building right now? This building's rent is on me right now. We have to pay to संस्था from yours. You feel that इतना हम fee charge करते हैं, इसमें क्या होता है इसमें? तो faculty को 45% देना है, 20% ये देना है, बाकी additional labs बनाना है ना, end में कुछ रहता ही नहीं. इतना हम struggle कर रहे हैं, इतना हम अच्छे teachers हैं. मैं सारे 1000 professors को अमेरिका भेजना चाहता हूँ. Where is money? On the same side, they were trying to, because these burdens, these are called as sunk cost in the business. It's gone. I can't say that Saturday, Sunday we are not working, so this is available on rent. Huh? This entire piece is available on rent. It's not possible, because it will come in newspaper. MIT is available on rent on weekends. So thereby, they were also looking young boys, two girls, land and building, machines, no possibility. Cash, no. Bank, no. Sundry debtors, no. What is left? Inventory. So the girl who was looking at it was not knowing anything in finance. She was looking at it like this girl is looking. And the boy who was good in finance, he was saying, okay, this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible. And then he was so fed up. At the end, when it comes to, this is not possible, cross. And then last, when it came to inventory, he put a right tick. That means, that's all, and we are gone, and we are going back to Japan, and we are losing our job. And the girl said, okay, you have the answer, inventory we can reduce. By this kind of a creativity, the world has seen the first breaking story of reducing inventory and zero management. Then Japan developed it and patented it as JIT, which is just-in-time technology. One girl who is losing her job was so optimistic and creative. She was not knowing anything in the balance sheet analysis, but she shouted, okay, that's the answer. You should have told us yesterday. We'll start working on inventory. The guy got a shock of his life. And they said, okay, what you say is that. Evening he asked her, from where you did your MBA finance? She said, I am a BA liberal arts. I don't know anything. Isn't that a true, wonderful contribution by a creative brain to this particular thing? There are a number of stories. One can be sharing this. But I was not involved here as a speaker, but he gave me some chance. So I thought the largest innovation this world has seen are done out of creativity. And you know the story of Apple computers. And they were struggling, what will be the name of Apple company, and they were eating apple. If you don't give me the solution, this half apple will be the logo. And it became a big story. Graham Bell was walking on one hill. He was married, but he was having his secretary with whom romantic relations were there. And then he was going with young lady, and then he was trying to tell something romantic. He came back, and his wife repeated everything what he said with that young lady. Normally what would have done in Indian pressure cooker has two parts, so at least one part would be thrown by spouse on husband. But Graham Bell was creative. He asked her, okay, you throw whatever you want to throw on me, but first tell me how you came to know. I said this, but how you came to know? She told, a grocer's bullock cart wala who delivered rice and wheat to our place. He told me. So Graham Bell became creative. He went to that bullock cart wala. Are you the bullock cart wala who came to my house and told this to my wife? He never said against me. Did you say this? The other man would have hit that bullock cart wala. Let me know how you came to know. So he said, my boss told me. That means the owner of grocery shop. He went to that grocery shop. Grocery shop was asked, how you came to know? Acha, Dr. Bell, you are such a big person in our town. You are doing this. Someone who comes here for the coffee, you know this Europe grocery shop, they have a coffee machine also. So a guy comes every day, who goes up the hill and comes down and have a coffee. He told me this. Then he went to that guy. Then how come you know? Sir, you were in such a romantic mood. I was just behind you. So once I take it into my appetite, no, I have to vomit it somewhere. So I went down, had a coffee and vomited everything. And then he said, okay, then communication which is happening here, right now can go to some other place where we are not present. And then you remember, I don't know whether your school teacher in physics gave you that practical where thermocol cups we took to school, and then one guy will be outside, I think she's subscribing the idea, and there is a wire and someone will say hello from inside, and though we have not heard from outside, we said, yes, we got it. And we also said, we are also creative that time. And then first telephone came in. All the telephony credit on a lighter vein, creative way, goes to that lady who impressed Graham Bell and at that age became romantic with her in a lighter vein, in a creative way. If this lady was not there, some elderly lady would have been there, Graham Bell would not have invented. But interestingly, he created Bell Labs as his company. And today when 6:30 p.m. in India, New York Stock Exchange opens, TV 18 channel you see today 6:30, 6:40. You will see that it's not the Microsoft or Intel or these companies only open at the top brass global network or global corporates on the New York Stock Exchange, but Bell Labs will come, $25 or something, whatever is rate going on. So he was not only creative in not fighting with his spouse, but invent phone out of it, but he was also creative not to give this patent to someone, but create his own company. Of course, now Bell Labs owners are separate. It's a shareholding is completely diversed. But then you could not have, got the admission which you otherwise got on mobile phone, using your laptop or mobile phone is SIM card. All the telephony research is still with the Bell Labs, but they give it to Apple or they give it to some other company, and then the prototype is created and that is sold to you. I can go on and on, but then music and maybe films and some of the story or screenplays. You have a great kind of creativity there, which is typically restricted, and that's why I did not take that route. Came to something called as finance, and there is a creativity called zero inventory. Then came to Graham Bell. There is something in science. There is some creativity, and coming to films and coming to many other things, dream sequence and everything, is actually one of the way of creating your right brain. And right brain actually is to be created in the classroom by giving some of the practices. And that's why you will see, you are so inquisitive and watching that maybe abhi आया है नया लाल सिंह चड्ढा, क्या होगा वो आमिर खान क्या बोलेगा इसके बारे में. You are inquisitive. You are also creative. And after that, if I ask you about any movie, you will always say, oh, it's good, it's not bad, oh, it's a worst movie. Never ever say that. Explain it, because there again a creative brain getting different. Which is the last movie you have seen? Suppose PK. Can you tell how is the movie? Okay, I will narrate you. In PK movie, Anushka Sharma's get-up was outstanding. Amir Khan was a extraterrestrial. And that mix of that was so wonderful. And then, the entire taking was done in the rural area initially, and then they bring them to the canvas of city. And then the photography was excellent. The music was very, very natural. They went to Amsterdam, Netherlands, and did shooting there. Start that way. creative thing happen. If you don't like Anushka, then you say, no, the movie is good. No, it is not about the movie. It is about your creative telling, storytelling. And that's why storytelling in all top MBA institute is compulsory now. IIM Ahmedabad, Symbiosis, everywhere is storytelling. Can we introduce storytelling? But more than that, some exercises as required. I will take 1 minute game which is done at IIM Ahmedabad with permission of Pokhare sir. Is that, suppose you have one particular duster. We started, it's a big, Edward de Bono is the man, if you type Edward de Bono, B-O-N-O. He is the man who teaches creativity in the world. His products, his classes are completely oversold. One of the example of, one of the class of that is uses of duster. It's going to be interesting for you, really. You know the duster. When I was young, I started teaching finance. And with a duster and chalk, you have to talk about stock market, mutual funds and all that. So I used to be creative. Give me 10 rupees, please. Oh, you don't have, give me 1 rupee, please. So she will give 10 rupees. You give me 2 rupees. And put it here. 20 of us have come together. This is our mutual fund. This is our mutual fund. Now you invest into Tata, you invest into Ambani's, that is Reliance. And tell me after 5 minutes, what happens to the stock market? No terminals that time, no computers, no smart boards, only chalksticks and duster. That duster, you have to tell 200 uses. No answer is a silly answer. Any answer is a good answer, and you can repeat the answer again. Suppose I will tell that this is the duster, I will throw it, and I will hit Ganesh Pokhare. One example. So you tell the rubber of that duster or that particular sponge of that duster, you can actually wipe something called as dining table. She tells that, okay, I will take this and duster and throw in Vice Chancellor, I will hit him. Then answer is correct. So because she is repeating, she is asking. By second round, third round, you get stuck up. IIM Ahmedabad has gone up to 136. I do this with my faculty members also. I do it with some of the senior management. We have a leadership management. We can't grow. We can. Shall we start? We have 1 minute or maximum 2 minutes. I will throw it to Ganesh Pokhare and hit it. Ganesh.
I will use it to clean the, let's say, my office table.
You?
I'll use it to measure
How? Measurement tape. Yes. You? Okay, hit nails in the table. Wonderful, wonderful. Utensils washing, yeah.
I'll remove the rubber and use it as a handkerchief.
Handkerchief and sniff, wonderful.
And then use it as a compass or to parameter the shapes.
Yeah. So whatever is happening is left brain plus some part of right brain, okay? Something crazy will come. Now I will come back to me and then I will give it over to him. I'm hungry, I will just eat it. Yeah, next. I'm hungry, I will just eat the duster. It's a crazy answer, but it's going somewhere other direction. Yeah, you. Scale, yeah. Wonderful, yeah. Anyone? Raise your hand, I will go. Paperweight, wonderful. So what is happening in brain? You are still thinking what is the use of that, whether it will benefit you. You are not going to the right side. You can say, I will play drumsticks with that. You can always say that, I will dance with it like my fiance. I will use it as a mobile. I will break it and keep my ring given by my spouse inside that as a secret. Yeah, anything comes. It's a very interesting game. Do it with yourself when you go back to your home. Do it with your mom, do it with your family members, dad, so on and so forth. Anything? Quickly? Anyone from this side panel? Anyone from the panel? Anyone from the panel? Sir? No idea as such. Because you are thinking. You can always repeat the answer. You can always say, I will throw that on you, if nothing comes to you. Yeah.
Because I never encountered, that's why.
Okay.
I'll use it as a showpiece.
Showpiece. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'll use it to play with my niece.
With your knees. I will burn it and make a Maggi noodles on that, top of that. Yeah.
I will use it as a mic.
I will use it. Wonderful. Now you are shifting that side. Yeah. Anything?
There's a girl behind the camera.
It's a chalk duster. I use it to create fake snow.
Take note.
The chalk duster.
Yeah.
I use it to create fake snow by dusting snow.
Okay, wonderful. Snow cleaning. Yeah. I think you got the gist of it. There are many such games are around you on the internet, creative games. Use them and you will see that you completely go into other kind of a thought, and it reduces the stress. There are many other benefits of such kind of creativity. You reduce your stress also, and sometimes you don't know, you become Archimedes and suddenly create a wonderful invention. Invention, there is a thin line and the difference. With this, I want to stop because we have to take a group photograph. I was invited for a group photograph at the end, but then I had some time to come in after completing these inductions, and then completely was not aware of what I have to talk. So whatever came from my bottom of my heart. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Sir, thank you very much. Thank you very much for bringing this very realistic angle to the creativity. And this also has become surprise to me that what can be those 136 answers which I am Ahmedabad have gave. 136, so maybe someday we can have Priti Madam this similar exercise done, maybe a full day spent, and we'll go 137 and we'll make sir pride to give this example next year that we had 137. So thank you very much sir for that. So you all have the papers. You are requested to leave the papers there only with your remarks. We will collect it later and bring into this thing. There's also QR code which you can scan and give the feedback. So with this, I move to the last with the permission of the Honorable Vice Chancellor. Thank you panelists, thank you sir for being here. I request all the members to gather at the steps of the our Dhaneshwara building for a nice group picture. Right? We'll let the panelists move first, and I request all the members to join us immediately. Thank you. Thank you. All of you are requested to gather at the steps of the Dhaneshwara building here only for the group photo. Panelists will leave first, and you are requested to join us very immediately. Thank you. Okay. And for Dr. Divya, we'll also be sending the felicitation and e-filtration to you. Thank you for your time and presence with us. Thank you very much.